So what happened today?
Well, they released Cam Newton.
Yes, sir. That's the headline.
The bigger story here is that, I've said it over and over again. I've written it quite a few times, especially over the last couple of weeks. Mac Jones was the better quarterback throughout the vast majority of the past month. And Bill Belichick finally came out and confirmed it. And I think this is a surprise because of the way that, we were looking things. We in the media, we had to go by what we were seeing. And we had to see, or what we had been seeing was Cam Newton lead off every single period in practice. He led off all 3 preseason games. But, I was speaking to a couple people just yesterday who said, you know what, you might actually want to pump the brakes on that narrative because look at what Mac Jones did last week in the joint practices with the Giants. He went 35 of 40 in the first practice. The second one, he got 1 drive against their starting defense, and he went 10 of 19 because of 3, maybe 4 drops, but still led the offense into the end zone because of 2 completions on 4th down, 2 third-down conversions. He continued to handle bouts of adversity. And the way that Belichick views these joint practices is actually it's exceeding what his viewpoint of the preseason. You can control the personnel packages you're lining up against because Belichick was collaborating with Joe Judge the night before these workouts. And because of all that, it was like, yeah, you know what? These people were saying, we understand what the optics are. We understand that Cam Newton's been the guy who's been leading the way in these rotations. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that if Mac Jones has significantly been better than Newton throughout the past month, that Belichick could go in that direction. Now, I can't sit here and say I was going to put money on that at 9 a.m. this morning, but that's what Belichick ultimately decided. And it's surprising on the surface, but when you look at it in totality, the writing had sort of been on the wall here.
Well, and that's in terms of the writing on the wall and then the headline of Cam Newton released. Jeff Howe of The Athletic here on the Rich Eisen Show. The way that it went down, Belichick saying earlier today when asked about Cam Newton's progress and the status of everything, saying that he's started off at a higher, bar and at a higher mark than last year because this is his second year in, and he said that he's heading in the right direction. And then the release happens. Is it possible that Bill told him that he's number 2 on the depth chart? And Cam then asked for his release? Is that possible, that's how this went down today, Jeff?
I can't yet rule that out. I've been trying to figure that out for the last couple hours and just haven't gotten any answers there. So it's certainly possible. But, that's something that the coaches have said about Cam Newton over the last several months, that he's, advanced in comparison to where he was a year ago. And I certainly see all that. On the other side of that coin, I meticulously chart every single throw in these practices, 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s, so all these team drills. And from last camp to this camp, Newton's completion percentage is down, his adjusted accuracy rate, which factors in drops, has declined, and his interceptions have gone up despite less throws. So, there's the one factor that you can't really compare. Last year's defense that he was practicing against wasn't nearly as good as this year's defense. But, just going by what we're seeing, there were just the inaccuracy issues that Cam Newton had last season. Those hadn't completely disappeared yet. He looked like he might have had a little more zip on the ball than a year ago, but he was still missing some throws. And I think it's just, I understand, mentally he had a better grasp of the offense. But again, there were just some missed balls, and when you've constructed this passing game to attack the middle of the field with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, and then slot receivers Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne, those guys have to be hit in the hands in order to not break stride and to get some yards after the catch. And it's harder for a guy like Newton to fit it into those windows, and that's one of Mac Jones' greatest strengths, and that's something that we saw consistently all summer long.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.